Evergreen Brickworks, or the Don Valley Brickworks if you feel like using its legal name, is an excellent location to add to your Toronto itinerary or visit as a Torontonian, because I didn't know much about this place before going, and I was just surprised by the sheer beauty of this park. Now, to be clear, I visited this place for the first time last fall. Here are a few photos, and I must say that this is the best time to visit. It doesn't show up as well in the photos, but this was honestly pure autumn enchantment. I felt like I was in that Keats poem. This footage is from March of this year, and while I wouldn't say it's as amazing, it's not too bad either. It's beautiful enough to where you might be surprised that up until the restoration in 1994, it was mostly an old, sad-looking quarry. It wasn't an unsuccessful quarry, though. Evergreen Brickworks was founded in 1889 by three brothers, John, William, and George Taylor. Originally supposed to be a paper mill, the decision to make bricks would prove to be a successful one, with the bricks winning awards from the 1984 Toronto Industrial Fair and the Chicago World Fair. However, I can't seem to find the exact award, and the only source for this claim is a flyer from the Heritage Trust. The bricks made here were also used in several other landmarks, including the Ontario Legislative Building, the Casaloma, Massey Hall, and Osgoode Hall. The factory would go through many owners in the early 20th century, becoming more technologically advanced each time. The factory would survive the Great Depression, the Great Toronto Fire, and World War II. The brickworks eventually became less popular as other factories rolled around, and the amount of clay that could be used for bricks shrunk. In the 80s, the factory decided to offer $4 million to the city of Toronto so that it could be conserved, though instead it would get rezoned into a housing development. After restoration in 1994, though, it has since become the park and conservation area that we know and love. Sadly, last year, the building would experience flooding, causing hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages, but it seems that repairs have mostly fixed it. There's a market inside which offers plenty of artisanal goods like scented candles, crackers, that sort of thing. It looks like my cameraman stopped for a coffee and a blueberry scone. From what I remember of my visit last year, the cafe was pretty nice. However, my word of advice is not to get the blondie, or if you will, don't eat the whole thing like I did. This thing was the size of like a really full coin purse, and if I were to describe the experience of eating it, I would compare it to those Russian vanilla fudge candies with the cow on the wrapper. This was like eating 20 of them. It tasted really good for like the first few bites, but I got sick of it eventually, because when you take the chocolate out of a brownie, you're left with a too sweet, one-note blunder of a dessert. Combined with the sandwich and the really sugary tea I drank, okay, that part was my fault. I have way too much fun at those self-service coffee stands, and for the rest of the day, my stomach hurt so bad I thought I was gonna throw up like 5 times. But the scenery was so nice. I still had a great day. You should still go here. You shouldn't let my irresponsible coffee-making decisions and overzealous desire for novelty stop you. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the brickworks have become quite a conservation area with various species of birds, fish. Looks like there are some raccoons here in the park. Sadly, there's not too much here because of the weather, but when I visited in the fall, I think I saw turtles. There's also some statues, and yeah, that's the Evergreen Brickworks. I think you should visit here, even if it's not the fall or summer, and it's snowy and a little sadder. It's got quite an interesting history behind it that I really only scratched the surface of. See ya. Have a good day.